All right, so we live, and today's gonna be a weird live stream because for some reason my Streamlabs it just isn't working. No shocker, that's what happens. That's Streamlabs track record with me, just not working. Tried to log in. Well, I tried to go live for about the last fucking what's this but I tried it at probably about 30 minutes ago, exactly 30 minutes ago. I tried to go live at 7 p.m. my time and just didn't work. So yeah, and I tried to fix it, nothing worked. So yeah, there you go. Streamlabs as usual. Fucks up. So yeah, so I'm not on Streamlabs, so I can't like put it into the article this time. Or maybe I can, I just don't know how to do it in just this basic YouTube studio thing. Let me read this. I'm live streaming just straight off YouTube right now. So it's been so long since I've done this. They added new shit. Well, some message moderation activity is now hidden. This includes messages that are held for review, removed by you. Okay. So yeah, no, I don't want to hide any messages. You can show or hide. Oh, I don't care about that. Okay. Yo, what's up, Risils? I hope I pronounced that right. What's up, man? What's up, Black Panther? What's up, Mo? Today's topic, I have to just read an article because my Streamlabs is just not working. And I hope the audio's fine work using this because I haven't used just regular YouTube for live streaming in a long time. And I remember it was a bit fucked up. But yeah. So I can't do a video review right now because Streamlabs is just being typical Streamlabs and just spontaneously combusting for no reason at all. So you see, someone just have to read it off the screen. But yeah, Pierre Lamb, what's up, man? Andre, audio's good. Oh, thanks. Okay, yeah, thanks for tuning in, Andre Williams. DMG, what's up, man? Have you gone on a soda binge as of late? Nah, man. I'll do that probably about once a year, once maybe twice a year. I just do nothing but just drink fucking pop. I'll do the same thing with junk food. I'll just go about a week or two, just eat nothing but cookies and water, or some ridiculous shit, cake and whatever the fuck. And yeah, I haven't done it quite yet. I'm sure it's coming though. Well, I think I did go on like a binge or two where I just ate cookies like all day, every day, and just didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? One of them. But AD looking like a ninja with the black hood and beanie, just missing. Black Panther, what's up, man? What's up, Daniel Corey? What's up, Rano? What's up? The outfit giving me boxing vibes. Oh yeah, this is just a one of the jogging suit outfits. When I'm just chilling in the house for majority of the day, chilling in not house. It's we would say apartment. They call them flats. They're just chilling inside for most of the day. So yeah, that's with the ninja outfit. You doing a live stream request today? Yeah, I have an article up right here. But I can't, my Streamlabs isn't working. So this is just like literally just a basic YouTube live stream. So like I can't do any other stuff with moving shit right now. So this is probably a great opportunity for me since Streamlabs is just a complete piece of shit as far as my history with working with it. This is probably a great time for me to find another platform to do it off of. But Streamlabs was just literally nothing but trouble from the beginning. But I was just kind of just struck by the ability to move, the window. So and that was my first program to do it with. So that's why I just stuck with it. But Streamlabs was just a fucking pain in the fucking ass from the beginning. Then I tried to pay for it because I thought that would work. That would help out. Didn't help out. If anything, it made it worse. So this is going to be my proper jump off point. Just go find another one that I could do it because I could do regular stream. I could do regular OBS, but that won't let you do. I think it won't put the donations up, or maybe it can, and maybe I just don't know how to do it. But that was what got me over to Streamlabs OBS in the first place. Why don't you use OBS? Oh well, yeah, I just explained it. Yeah, because because regular OBS was what I was using for just making like the regular videos. But if you want like the comments to come up in the subscriber, I don't think you can do that with regular OBS. I might be wrong. Maybe I just don't know how to do it. But Streamlabs OBS seems to have that like kind of automatically. Relatively speaking, it was a bit more since I think more people use Streamlabs OBS for live stream. I think it was kind of easier just to find some information. But maybe I just didn't know how to do it. Maybe it is a way to do it. And I'm just too ignorant and didn't have the patience to figure it out at the time. So I just hopped on Streamlabs OBS. But yeah, because I do have regular OBS still. I just haven't, because I haven't done a regular video in about a year. So matter of fact, this is a good point to just kind of like revamp like the whole like other areas in my YouTube channel too, because I've just been lazy or been too busy to really put thought to it. So this might be a good point. This would be a good area because I want to come up with a new like just a few new things I've been wanting to do for a while and just never got around to it just from being lazy. What's up, Jen? Just been too lazy. You have to customize it using stream elements. Okay, yeah, maybe you can't. Like back then when I was using Streamlabs OBS, I had no idea how to use. When I was recording videos, like putting articles up, I had no idea what I was doing. So it probably is. There probably is a way to do it. Maybe I was just just too dumb at the time to figure it out, and because I was brand new to this shit. So yeah, I'll go ahead and say that was my bad on that. But Streamlabs OBS, God, that was just nothing but Streamlabs OBS was literally nothing but just a pain in the fucking ass from the beginning. It lasted way too long, honestly. What's up, MG? Yeah, yeah. So just a warning, my Streamlabs OBS fucked up. So this is just a regular YouTube live stream, so I can't manipulate the screen to do anything. As far as I know, I can't. Let me see. But what I can do is I can type in the comment section. Alternatives to Streamlabs above. Alternatives to Streamlabs above. Daniel Corey. I use Streamlabs as well. OBS requires a lot of work to set up, but most professionals use it. Yeah, here's the thing, man, and like, because it seems like it's one of those issues where some people, like with video game streaming or just anything, like when it comes to this shit, like some people they'll just set it up, change one or two things, and it'd be perfectly fine. They never have an issue. And I fall in the demographic where if I just no matter what computer I've ever been on, if I just set it up, the shit just it just never works right. Like something always. But even then, like some of the bigger YouTube channels I follow, like they play like Mario Maker and shit like that. Like they've even stated having issues with sound, and they just lost all the audio, just randomly just didn't show up. It's like, how the fuck do you keep as a maker of these products? Like, how do you keep? These are the same issues, and I say this all the time. These are the same issues that I've had since for 10 years ago when I was doing the video game live stream. Well, I didn't do live stream. I was recording it and editing it. These are the same. It's the same issues. Like it's just pathetic at this point. How are you still losing audio when it was working just fine? Like for the last 2 months, just randomly the audio just don't work. Like it's ridiculous. And then expect motherfuckers to pay for this shit. Like Streamlabs just spontaneously fucks up. Like it just. But some people they get it and they never have a problem with it for years. Other people like me, it's never been consistently great. Never been. Hey, dear, you taking calls during a live stream? Yeah, I probably will take calls today. Spice it up a little bit because Streamlabs isn't working. But I have to put the link in. I'll put it in the comment section. I'll do that. Well, I'll tell you what. First, I put it on Subscribe Star just because I got the Subscribe Star. And give people who did that and it's incentive. Well, now my subscribers. What the fuck is wrong with my internet, man? Please enable cookies. You requested. Oh shit! I might lose the stream for a minute. So give me 1 second because I'm still on my VPN. I was trying to check something. I was trying to check if Streamlabs just blocked me. That's why it's not working. So I'm gonna disconnect my VPN. So if I lose connection, I'll be right back on. So in 3, 2, Let's see if it's still up. Let's see if it's still working. Let's see if I just didn't get if Streamlabs just didn't ban me. Still up. I'm trying to. Yeah, yeah. It looks like it's still up. Yeah. So let me go back because I can't even go again to my subscribe star right now. Okay, here we are. So I'll put the link in subscribe star first to do calls. Just you mean just to I feel like I just owe it to subscribe star first. But the thing that sucks about subscribe star is that like it doesn't do a good like now with the good thing about Patreon is that they did a good job of alerting you. But even what they to be fair, they didn't do a great job at it, but they did a good enough job of to where like I at least knew when something happened on Patreon, where subscribe star doesn't do any of that. Like I think they might send an email. They might send like an email, but they I don't think they have an app. So subscribe star is really like secluded. But for mostly anything else, it in my opinion is better than Patreon for mostly everything. Because I think the big concern with subscribe star is that the timing of the payment versus Patreon, whereas Patreon takes out a lot more of the money, whereas subscribe star doesn't take out that much. But subscribe star has this warning that hey, like we may not pay you for like if you when you request your payment, you may not get it for the first like 3 weeks to like month and a half or some shit, right? And I think that's what scares people off. But since I've been using subscribe star, I've never had like it's been if anything, subscribe star has been more efficient than Patreon for real. But I think that warning will like because it threw me off in the beginning. Like I really didn't trust subscribe star at all, and I just said fuck it and went for it. And if anything, now that I trust subscribe star, I would rather like I would tell anybody now. I think Patreon is just the most known one, but I would tell anybody to do subscribe star before Patreon because Patreon is going to take a lot more money, and Patreon is far more strict. I would recommend subscribe star over Patreon for sure. What's up, Oliver Biscuit? So yeah, let me make sure it's still going. Okay, well, there's a comment. Are you aware of the hate King Rich has been getting lately? No, I don't know. I meant the text. I keep forgetting the text. I meant to write him. No, I don't. Well, I'm sure he is getting it. Well, if he had 1,600 people watching his live streams, that's gonna come with the territory. So I'm sure he's gonna get some hate. That's just gonna come with the territory. But no, I don't know what happened with him. I'm just bad with keeping up with media, in general. But like I said, if once he hit that mark that I don't want to get to is is that many people watching because then your name's gonna start floating around and you don't even know. And I mean, that's the he. I mean, I'm glad that he got that success. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that he got that success. But on the back end, like that's going to come with the territory. Now, more motherfuckers going to start recognizing you off the street and shit like that. And I mean, and that's the area that I don't want. I love to have the ability to go out and relatively be a nameless individual and just exist and and know I can exist in peace and quiet. Like I don't want to be popular. You know what I mean? Like at all in terms of like any more than like 100 people watching me at a time type of thing. Like I don't want that. But I mean, but the ultimate goal of it is to get popular. So like I'm happy for him if that was what he was wanting. Like I'm totally happy for him. I advocate, whatever the fuck he has going on. But that hate's on that just is gonna come with the territory, man. Honestly, that's gonna come with the territory. And I hope he does all right with it. I really do. But yeah, he's definitely gonna get hit. Let me catch up on these comments. Says Leah says, as an American, how do you feel living in what seems to be a post-American dominated world? Um how do I feel about that? Well, in the end, I'm okay. Okay, in my opinion, the world's trying to jump ship from America being America. Weirdly though, I think the world accepted the United Kingdom, whereas like America was really in this. Okay, the United Kingdom. was far in my okay, the United Kingdom, relatively speaking, was far more integrated with where it took over, whereas the US never really got that well integrated because the US is always seen as the United Kingdom's little, little cousin. You know what I mean? But we fucked up, but North America fucked around and got more powerful than that shit, right? Like for one or two reasons, like how it depend on how you look at it. And so America was kind of always seen more as like um one on one hand, it was it was at least at a point a land of opportunity, and for many countries now it's still a land of opportunity. Um, but on the other end, America has this dynamic of being, socially separated. So like that, so we end up being seen as the poshy group and all that shit like that, in a sense. Um, um, but as an American living in a post, I don't think as far as the regular everyday person goes, I don't think anything's changed with that. As far as a regular everyday person goes, as post American dominated, the regular person hasn't changed. The typical person hasn't changed their perspective on North America. I think now it's strictly in the more political world because everybody's trying to jump ship on North America after Russia did what they did, and now everybody's trying to team up out with them now. I think in the political world they're trying to do that, which I don't think is going to work out. I mean, and just historically speaking, it just doesn't. I think it's a complete joke. I think they're just playing around, meddling, having fun with America. Trying to trying to take down America even further, but it's going to be a complete fuck. Historically, they don't get none of them motherfuckers get along for too long, right? It's like, I think it's a complete joke, to say the least. But like I said, I think I mean, I'm sorry, the regular citizen, like the regular person has you know, no real concern. I don't think there's anything really, really, really different, in my opinion, from the people I know and talk about. Like I got to bring it up to them. Like they don't, the motherfuckers here, they don't know. I had to go to them and tell them that they was, shit that was happening. Right. Because America is so foreign, it's one of them things. And then on top of that, the media, all like America is a media powerhouse. So if America loses out, let's say in whatever the fuck in any other area, well, that media powerhouse is still there, right? And so another thing that happened lately was Italy's trying to make English illegal in their documents. Like this happened maybe 3 4 days ago. Italy is trying to make English illegal, right? As far as like legal documents, and it came down to like the use of bread, right? Of bruschetta or some shit like that. It was like it's really pathetic, right? But my opinion of I think is one of them feminist arguments. Like if they can just say anything and include the minorities in it, then that'll get their rallying point to make them more to make the political standpoint of Italy more relevant, because they're just not relevant on a political level. Like nobody cares outside of getting some bread, getting some spaghetti, getting some pizza. Nobody cares about Italy anymore. Like nobody. Like when you go to Italy, all you think is pizza, pasta, and some bread, and that's about it. Maybe some coffee and tea or some shit like that. And that, I mean, let's be real. On a worldwide level, when you think Italy, maybe some football, maybe something like that. You know, maybe Mario if you adventurous, but nobody. Let's be real. I mean, I'm not trying to bash Italy, but it's just what nobody cares unless they just want to go walk around a fucking walk around thinking they gonna hear fucking the accordions and fucking flutes playing while they go get a piece of pizza. That's what motherfuckers gonna think of, right? So in my opinion, I mean, there's the unemployment rates. I talked about this last week. The unemployment rates, they're still abysmal. They never recovered from the recession. Germany's still just giving them, they're living off bond money from Germany. Then Germany's just eating off that shit. Like there's nothing else truly coming out of Italy, right? So now they're trying to make English illegal but the key hook phrase was because they said that English is a colonizer's language. And that rung a bunch of bells for all the other minorities, which is true. I'm not going to say it's not true. It's totally true. It is a colonizer's language. But they use the colonizer's language as the backup to say, oh, wait. And their fight is now, in contrast to feminist fight, the argument, when fleshed out, it does make sense, right? But it was still that typical feminist argument of I'll just go get the minorities to agree with me to make me relevant in the world again. That's essentially what Italy just tried to pull, right? And now, but again, it does make better sense. They do have a better argument than the majority of feminists from high school dropout to doctorate's level. It still is a better argument from all that. But in the end, I think it's still a feminist argument. They're just desperately trying to get because when you break down the stats on universities that have English courses, the English language throughout the world, all that shit like that, like it's one of the things you just can't fight. Now, is it a colonized language? Of course it is. I totally agree with that. It is a colonizer's language. Completely agree. There's no denying that, right? But on the back end, trying to make English illegal, that's diving into damn near Mussolini shit again, right? Of whose language should be what, that Hitler shit. You know what I mean? And in reality, they better hope people focus on the minorities instead of focusing on the past and what happens when you start separating languages again. You know what I mean? Because if motherfuckers start flipping around on that shit and focus on that xenophobia, damn near xenophobic shit of language, then Italy's gonna be in a bad spot, after a real bad spot, after paying Germany out their ass for them bond for that the loan money from in euros that they got stuck in. They better hope motherfuckers don't pay attention to that shit. They better hope India and fucking Pakistan, all these motherfuckers get up like, yeah, that's a colonized language, and just side with them and nobody asks questions. But yeah, but honestly, to answer that question, the original question, as far as how do I feel as an American and the regular person isn't there yet, and I think honestly it would take a long time for before that would truly take effect of the world seeing America as not dominant anymore. I think it would be for the same reasons why the world thinks that Americans are dumb. I think the rest of the world is more dumb in this context, meaning all they know about North America is media, is the Avengers, school shootings, gender shit, Transformers, all that's all they know. That's all the majority of motherfuckers you're gonna talk to outside North America that claim they know something about North America. If you really get into it, all they're gonna know about is fucking the Avengers, Marvel, Transformers, school shootings, people being snowflakes and shit like that, right? That's all they're gonna. So in this regard, like the rest of the world is, when they try to say Americans are dumb Americans, the reality of it is a lot of times they're more dumb about North America than North America is about them, especially when you get into these deeper arguments, right? It usually starts. Now Americans can't be everybody's stupid at some instance. Don't get me. I'm not saying like any one country is on a whole more intelligent than the other, because you're always going to have different classes of in education and all that shit like that. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. Let me catch up on these comments. Hey, that's why your streams are a breath of fresh air. Thanks, thanks. AD, you rather have a small community of people watch you since it gives you peace of mind. Yeah. I would much rather. I don't want to get. Yeah, like again with King Richards. I'm glad his channel blew up, but for my channel, I would not want that. That's what I would not want. Oh wait, I'm trying to catch it. Rana says, yeah, he's getting heat for just pearly things convo with Nick Fuentes and the slavery. Okay, I don't know what that was, but yeah, that comes with the territory, man. That comes with the territory. You see, King Richards is currently on Pearly's show. He's been getting pushback along with her due to his support of her. Okay, King Richards has his own show, King's Court, from the same studio. Okay. Podcast with Nick. Who is Nick? Okay, so now I got to Google this dude. Who is Nick Fool? Is American white supremacist. I would love to. I said that a while back. Like, I would love to speak with. I don't know if he's like a legit, like racist dude or whatever. But I told you I would love to have a conversation with like a KKK member, not even like to hate him or nothing like that, but just to hear what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Hear his perspectives and shit like that. I would love to talk to this dude. I'd do it for free. Just you know, just from an intellectual standpoint, right? I ain't trying to cause no arguments or fights or nothing like that. So let me read his. So Nicholas Joseph Fuentes is an American white supremacist political commentator and live streamer, a former YouTuber. His channel was permanently suspended in 2020 for violating YouTube's hate speech policy. So like I was along the same lines before. I think YouTube just this is I think where being black kind of helped out because I think YouTube's kind of trying to be on this woke shit of like, well, he's black. We can't shut him down because he's black. So let's just quiet his shadow. Because I bet I've said some more outrageous shit than this dude's. I bet I probably said something that was more outrageous, but he got shut down for that shit. Fuentes identifies as a member of the incel movement, as a supporter of authoritarian government, and as a Catholic integralist and Christian nationalist. Collaborated with Patrick Casey, a former leader of the neo-Nazi organization Identity Evropa. Evropa, yeah. So those you know the radio stations, they say that on the radio. They sing it. It's a radio station over here. Future. So he has a follower known as Groypers began to heckle Turning Point culture, including speech of Donald Trump Jr. White supremacist, blah, 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 10 white supremacist rally in Charlottesville. And he was later an attendance speaker preceding 2021. Say, God, encourage jokes, iron white nationalist groups. It's so important for giving a lot of cover and plausible deniability for our views. Along with Kanye West met with former Donald Trump at a dinner. The media received significant comment domestic. Blah, blah, blah. What was he? I'm kind of curious. Now I'm reading to him. What was he doing? See, he is of Mexican descent and is. Okay, I don't know what he's really talking about because I thought with his last name being Fuentes, if I'm pronouncing that right, he's a white supremacist. I thought that was a case of that's like okay, I don't know what the dude's real purpose in this shit is, but to look at him like okay, I'm ignorantly speaking right now. To look at him, as soon as I seen that last name and seen this picture, I thought this is one of Jennifer Lopez cases, right? Like one of them where like he can pass for white and he'll use that as his advantage, but as soon as he can, he'll tap into that Hispanic shit real fast, and he'll just bounce in and out of that shit. But I don't know. I don't know what his real. I've never heard of him until just now. So I'm only speaking off just seeing the motherfucker, right? And and to be honest, this sounds like he's really just kind of cashing out on a certain group with the whole like he's a member of the incel movement. Like that's a movement. You mean like motherfuckers who can't get pussy? That's a movement. Motherfuckers who can't get pussy is a movement. Like I had no. I mean, well, it was bound to happen at some point, but I mean, because that's just anything. You're just bound to happen. You're gonna have movements. Man, and look, most men who are in their early 20s are going to be incels, right? That's just the reality of it. Most guys in their that's the hardest time period for a man is to be in your 20s in general. Most men are going to be incels at some point, and a lot of women too. For one, maybe the women are too shy or whatever. Maybe she's just on a cold streak. There's a lot of beautiful bitches who go through months and years because I came across one girl. I was talking to her, and I can't remember where I was at, but she said she went through a long period of not being able to get a boyfriend because, and when I looked at her, I knew why. Because some girls, you just look at them and assume they have a boyfriend, so you just wouldn't approach them because they look too good and too homely, right? So becoming an incel can happen in many different ways. It's not just off of like purely like just genuinely there's many other facets, timing, whatever the fuck. Everybody hits cold streaks, but a supporter of authoritarian government and okay, now that's probably about the only real ignorant area. a supporter of a well, depend okay, again, it's no telling where they got that from and just kind of pasted it in here. Because I mean, there's good and bad about everything, but typical authority. That's what Andrew Tate was talking about with the whole like, if you see a pothole, a man just says, "Go fix it right now," and it's fixed. Like that's the in politics, in a government, that's the last thing you want is an authoritarian government. With maybe 1,500 years ago, that was a good idea, but no, since the population's tripled over the last 500 years, you know that's a bad idea. That's I mean, any basic motherfucker who understands how humanity grew would tell you that's a terrible idea. So in short, and okay, so and this is gonna be an unpopular opinion. In short, authoritarian. So he supports authoritarian government. He supports pretty much communist socialism, communism. It's gonna be in the same boat. It's gonna be the same boat. Because the authoritarian government is going to be it's going to be by yeah the rejection of political plurality and just one person owning the whole show. That's the whole reason. So in the U.S., that's why in our government in the U.S. You can only serve a certain amount of terms. You have to keep people in rotation and get them out of there. You have to do it. Like historically speaking, as populations rose, that you have to do that, because if you don't go in there, if you keep letting Joe Biden be president for the next 20 years, it's human nature, right? And I want to dive into human nature about the hate, the historical hate for the rich and all that shit like that. This is human nature. So in situations like this, don't get mad at Putin, right? Don't get mad at the rich elite. Don't get mad at typical authoritarian type governments like this. When you see it, don't get mad at it. Realize that this is just what happens when humans are in this position, right? Bill Gates, Elon Musk is doing the same shit that half the other humans in that position would. It's just the response of human being in that position, right? And this is because I was reading another book where this guy, it was supposedly on climate change and how it affects inequality, but it really isn't about that. And I'm really impressed he even got this shit. I'm really impressed he even got the title to even get published on that book, because it's completely not about that. It's more about him just kind of blaming the elites, right? But okay, the elites are people too, right? The authoritarian, that's a person too. Putin, whoever the fuck, Stalin, Lenin, these are people too. But they responded and reacted based off of their culture and what human does in this situation, right? So like the rich, they're not evil. Like you would do the same shit if you ended up with that with in that scenario. This is human. It's a lab experiment. All humanity is doing since the beginning of time is just all a big ass lab experiment. That's all this is, right? So now we could look back and say, yeah, communism don't work out too well. Is a great chance it's going to be, if communism had to compete with capitalism, it's not going to do too well against capitalism. It's just not. Right? But if it was, but now we could say this, it can be sustained, but what's the happiness of the people, blah blah blah, and it's going to be immediately, thrown out for most people who just don't want it. But yeah, let's see, what did he do? So he was born in 1998, so he's pretty young. He's 24 years old. Oh damn, they even put where he lives at. Where is he? Yeah. He studied introduction to international relations and politics during his freshman year at Boston University. He dropped out 2017 after completing his freshman year. So he literally studied no international relations. If you dropped it, okay, so here's the thing for people who didn't go to university. When you go to university, usually at least your first year is just the core classes like English, you know what I mean, math. You don't actually get into your actual course classes at least until the first year is over from majority of the people. Maybe there, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he passed all those in high school and he took the the actual course, the actual major material his freshman year before he dropped out. So he received threats for attending the white supremacist rally in Virginia. So he transferred armor and his armor is better. Okay, Mexican descent. Yeah, so he sounds like he's just very honestly. He either sounds like he's a very confused kid, or he's really just trying to tap into a certain network to get paid off of it and just getting money off of them. This is one of the two, because This dude is a perfect oh, you can't see what I'm looking at. This dude at this point is a perfect candidate to be on South Park, right? Like this is the perfect scenario. Holocaust denial. Well, yeah, I've actually been to to concentration. I went to Telezine concentration camp out here. That was wild. And they take you down in the underground areas and all. So I've actually been to a concentration camp from the Holocaust. I've legitimately actually physically walked in there and walked around and seen where they would pressure wash their clothes. But so what would happen was in the concentration camps when they would pressure wash their clothes, they wouldn't dry them. So like they would feel like they were dry, but they weren't dry. So the people would go in there and wear them, thinking the clothes were dry, and it would be cold outside, and a lot of people died from just free from the clothes being still wet, but they didn't feel wet and being in the cold, and that would kill you if you stay outside in that. So a lot of people died. I always remember that one, and they showed you where they get haircuts. They showed you where all the people slept at, all together in a room with like one little heater in the middle of the room, and it did heat shit. Yeah, they showed, and then they took you in this other part where, and that because that's where I learned where the original Jews where they lived, they didn't have great soil. So instead of putting flowers on graves, they put rocks, like little stones, on graves. Because I asked like why are all these rocks on the graves, and that's how I found that out. But yeah, so I've actually been to a concentration camp. But I mean, if you deny it, that's cool. I mean, do whatever you do. Just don't hurt me physically, and we don't have problems. But just do whatever you do. Don't believe in the Holocaust. Don't believe in the color blue. That's fine with me. So he kissed a girl. He identifies as an incel, although some of his supporters have criticized him for being a voluntary celibate after he admitted that he kissed a girl while he was in high school. Why is that a big deal? He kissed a girl in high school, yo. He has attempted to defend himself as an incel claimant. So he's fighting to have see, this sounds more like he's just trying to cash out on a certain market. I don't think he really follows a lot of this shit. If he did, he probably like experimented with it for a while, but didn't care about it much later. So he has attempted to defend himself as an incel by claiming that having sex with women is gay, and that the only real straight he's just cashing out on the market. Local radio, high school radio sounds mainstream. I mean, whatever you got. Look. To be honest about it, look with the economy nowadays, as a 24-year-old dude who dropped out of university, like he better do whatever he has to do to get his chips up. Because the economy is not fucking around with y'all with the younger generations. It's not fucking around y'all. Movement: white supremacism, white nationalism, Christian nationalism, and he's Mexican. That's fucking great. You can't make that shit up. Well, you can. It's a common occurrence. I'm like, it's more common. Like if you can, what's this motherfucker look like regularly? I'm just curious. Because he looks like he's one of them dudes who can pass for a while. Y'all can't. I wish you could see what I'm saying, but Streamlabs being Streamlabs. Yeah. He's one of them. What was the motherfucker who shot and killed? But he really couldn't pass for white though. Who shot that black kid? Because like he secretly has his delay. He's one of them. He's one of them who could pass for white. And to be honest, that's what's getting him over with a lot of this shit because he looks like that white dude. He looks like his dad owns a law firm type of shit. And that's going to be the core of what's going to get him over with anything with this shit. Just throw a blazer on him and have him just sit there. You can't see what I'm seeing now, but he looks the part. And I think that's what's going to get him over with a lot of this shit. but he also looks just rough enough where he can like sell to the to the hillbillies, shit like that. He looks just weird and just I don't say weird because that's a fucked up word to use. I don't think he looks. He doesn't. He has a good look where he can get away with that and cash out on it. Catch him on these comments. So him so what should call it? King Richard. He was talking to him in a chat in a live stream. I'm way behind these comments. I know Subway bread isn't considered bread here. Yeah, I'm way behind comments. Okay. Are you planning on voting in the upcoming U.S. presidential election? Keep up. Do you keep up with the political theater going on in the U.S.? Leah, no, no, and no. Now let's just stop working. I think my battery just died. No and no. No and no. I don't plan on voting, and no, I don't keep up with any of the election shit. I have another battery. Oh, I could do this. Oh, it's another mouse. Okay, so I could do this. So no, and no. I don't plan on voting, and no, I don't, because if I were to vote right now, and I said the same thing when Obama ran for president. I didn't vote for Obama both times. Both times he ran. Because if I were to vote for somebody, it would not be okay. Like Socrates, it wouldn't be an educated vote. It'd be a vote purely off ignorance. So that's why I do not vote. It would be pure. I would have voted for Obama simply because he was black. Which, in all fairness, based off of the history of presidents in the U.S., that could have been validated as enough reason to vote for Obama. But I didn't want to do that. So I didn't vote for him both times. But no, I'm not going to do it either one. See, are you? Wait. LOL snowflakes. So Avengers, Transformers, yeah, or gun shooting shit like that. Like most of the people outside of the U.S. have no idea about what the U.S. actually is. Most have no idea. Okay, I remember I was in a conversation somewhere about how wealthy America is because compared to many countries, many people in America have iPhones, right? And real iPhones, not fake iPhones, like real iPhones. Like that's the other thing. I think the U.S. and in this context, I think the U.S. can be very ignorant in terms of realizing just how good fakes have come along the way. Because with clothing or electronics, like once you get like over here, dude, like the fake game, is something real. Like I've never seen it's to the point now. Like I just don't like I wouldn't even care anymore. You can analyze the shit. Go on YouTube or just look up like how to tell a fake Tommy Hilfiger shirt. The shit's so fucking close. I wouldn't even care anymore at this point. As long as it's not paper thin, I wouldn't even care. They got the stitching pattern, everything down now. Like, okay, what I'll just buy that. but mother, so I remember I had to break down to the dude, like, well, people have iPhones in America because they're on payment plans and it gets added onto their bill at the end of the month, maybe like $30, but over like 3 years. And like they had people would have no concept of especially depending on the country you're talking about. Like the world sees America as a wealthy country, right? Which it relatively is. Don't get me wrong, it is for one reason or another. Even in America's weak points, it still is a much wealthier country than most countries on earth. And don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it's either illegal or it's like America cannot receive aid from at least 95% of countries on earth. And I remember reading a while back, and I don't want it's not illegal, but like something can happen. Like America can give out aid, but they cannot receive aid, right? And see, little things like this formulate like why America is the way it is in the position they're in. It's these little things that are not talked about in any political circles. You have to go digging and looking for it, right? So look up can America receive aid money? Like if we're in trouble, can we receive aid money? It's not illegal, but I think there is like some type of punishment if America were to just genuinely accept, like, $3.2 billion for whatever the fuck, all right? Like that we can't accept like genuine aid money and survival for the country, right? Um, um, Fuck, where was I going? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But the world has no idea the reality of the average American, right? Of the typical average American. Like if you tell people if you, at least 60% of the population is living month to month in North America, they don't get it. Just don't get it. Like and you have to explain it to them. Don't and don't get it. Just it's like it's almost like you just don't even try. It's just almost it comes up to a waste of time because they just want to see that America's wealthy because all they're going to get is the Kardashians movies and in the movies everybody's got this perfect house, perfect clothes, perfect lighting, perfect hair, perfect makeup. They're not looking at the regular American. They're only seeing what's coming out of California. In the poshy, relatively speaking, California has much higher highs. I'd say in the upper middle class areas of California, that's all they're really seeing. For a lot of them, I'm not gonna say everybody, but it's a common thing. I'll just miss so many. What's up, Anthony? And I think you're referring to deferrals, and the U.S. is incapable of deferring on their financial debt, etc. Well, it was something about aid money too. The aid money, like they can't, like the U.S. cannot receive aid. Like if something were to happen in the world, America can give out aid money, but America can't receive the aid money. And again, I can't remember exactly why what really goes into that. And I don't know why I'm thinking of this too. So for example, this is a law that many people don't know. In most of America, if not all of America, and if not the world, if you see a police officer walking down the street and he does not have his hat on, you do not have to follow what he says. Right. And this is in law. This was in law. At least I won't say it may have changed. This was about 10 years ago. If you see a police officer, if he does not have his hat on, you don't have to listen to what he says. You don't have to listen to what he says until he puts his hat on. This was law, I think, by about 10, maybe 15 years. So it could have been erased or changed or something like that. But that was a law. But these are these little things people don't, talk about or know about. I remember I sat down and I read the entire Ohio Revised Code while I was an ambassador at college. I would just sit down at the computer and just pull up I put up the entire Ohio Revised Code and read through all of it. And I had so many so many questions were answered. Like, for example, like how, like what, the standards for, like, if you make orange juice, what's really stopping everybody from putting 100% orange juice on it, right? Because if you really think about, if, like, let's use like orange juice, for example. If you write 100% orange juice, well, technically they could be speaking about, well, the 20% of orange juice that's in this bottle is 100% orange juice. You see what I'm saying? It can be very misleading just to get you to buy the orange juice, right? And there's specific laws set out for that in your revised code. And that should be in every state in America. But like little things like that were just like, were pretty interesting to read through. But I said it was a big, that I had nothing to do for hours. So that's what I would do. I would just read the entire Ohio revised code. But again, who's really going to do that? Like, how many people are actually going to read, 50 pages of the revised code? No, just go. It's on the internet. Just go on the internet, and type in like your state, and type in revised code, and it is all there. All the laws are there. Every time I see a cop, my heart starts racing. I do the same thing over here. I catch myself doing it over here. I'm the same way, but then I have to remember, like, I'm not in America. They're not predatory like that. So, and I've never had a I've never even, I don't think I've ever, okay. I was arrested here one time. And when I was arrested like I was like Jay-Z or some shit like that. Right. Like, because what happened was I tried to buy a car. Well, I bought the car and I tried to put it in my name. Right. And I went to like their version of wherever is it not the DMV, wherever you put the car. I can't think of what it's called now. But I went there, and me and the guy went there, and we tried to put it in my name. He was cool. The woman behind there was cool. I was cool. And so, yeah, it's not letting me do it. Like, I can't put it in your name. It says your paper's expired. And the paper in the book said 2026. Like, it's not expired, bro. Like, so she said, okay, well, you got to go to your foreign police station and talk to them. So I went to the foreign police station, and they took forever. So that's how I knew, okay, I'm getting ready to get arrested, because they taking forever to fix to look at my paperwork. So I said, I just put two and two together. Yeah, they must be calling the cops to come to take me. So they called the cops in there. The girl I was with, she was explaining to him, like, yeah, he's been here for years, blah, 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 he's a good job, this and that. And the cops, they was cool. And they said, well, and they said, you're like, sorry, like, we got to take you, we got to report this. Right. So we walked out here. So I got arrested. I didn't put on handcuffs or anything. They just we just walked out like we was homies. Right. And it was so awkward. I told the one police officer, no, like, we out in public, you got to get behind me. Like, your job is to make sure I'm not going to run away. You had, because they was both walking in front of me, and I could have just took off running the other direction. Right. So I still remember this. We were walking in front of the police station, and I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, no, you got to get behind me, dude, because I can just run away and you gonna get in trouble for that. So he got behind me and followed me, into the station, and it was cool. It wasn't any issues, nothing like that. I think when we got down there, some other people kind of wanted me to bribe them, but I just sat there for maybe an hour and a half or something like that, and they let me go. But yeah, but no, I still get that sense of scared of, like, when I see a police officer, like, I hope I'm doing everything right type of shit. But yeah, let me see. You also don't need a driver's license in the U.S. do you? Do you not in the law? Maybe I I don't know. I guess it depends. Like, I don't know. Like, if you genuinely look at the actual law and what's actually written there, it could, who knows what's written in there? Who knows? I would think that you would need a driver's license, but if you actually look at the law, like, there's no telling, and that's the thing. Like, most motherfuckers don't actually look at the law, right? Most motherfuckers walking down the street are not going to look at it, and not going. They just going to people just operate on common law first, and then if shit gets too deep, then they'll actually go pull out a law book and try to formulate logic out of it, type of shit. Most people are never going to actually look into the law, right? Fanta and Crush could do it in 10 times their sales. Yeah. Yeah, with the orange but the thing, but no, there's because they have to go by standards. I'm pretty sure the FDA, they have to go through standards there, because because what's really stopping somebody from saying this iPhone is not 100% natural, right? What's stopping somebody from saying a battery is not 100% natural, right? Because if you really think about it, this iPhone came from the dirt, just like that Snickers candy bar did, right? Just like, the fucking potato. This came from the dirt. This iPhone came from the dirt, just like anything else. So why is it this phone 100% natural, right? How come you can't say this is 100%? It's 100% natural. It's an organic iPhone. It's technically an organic iPhone at some point, right? Unless you have laws to spell out why it wouldn't be, because in the end, everything came out the fucking ground, right? But then, is that how you really define 100% natural? How do you really define it? So you have to go look into laws to see, okay, what are the limitations on calling something 100% natural, or 70%, whatever the fuck, like 100% orange juice, whatever the fuck. Like, you can play with that. Like, swindlers can play with that in so many ways, to where, like, they can say, like, well, of the 3% of orange juice that's in this bottle, that is 100% orange juice. So they could just write 100% on the bottle to mislead you and have you buying it, right? So yeah, that's just a whole deep, which is a beautiful thing to really read, because it's beautiful to see how legislation will have to keep being added to keep from people swindling their way into the system, right? And this is another area that people don't think of in terms of building a people and building a population, is that no matter what type of deal you set up, somebody is always going to eventually going to try to, like, swindle their way out of it, right? And once they you would think that's a good idea, but on the massive scale, that's how you destroy an economy, right? Because if everybody just found a way to cheat the system and have $15 billion, like, you're going to destroy the economy doing that. So you have to set it up to where motherfuckers are going to have to get up there and go out and go to work and be responsible, and do that type of lifestyle. Because if you don't do that, right? If you don't set it up to where motherfuckers have to go to work in some kind of way and have to report somewhere, what's going to be left? You know what I mean? Like, what's gonna be left? See them Burger King burgers you like to eat and them shirts you like to have. If motherfuckers didn't have to work, nobody's gonna go make them shirts. Nobody's gonna make them burgers. And then what's gonna happen? You'll be fucked up. What's up, Sim John? What's up, man? But let me go back. Cause I got the article. Where's the article? I just had it up somewhere. Yeah, because this dude. Well, yeah. So back to King Richards. There. I hope he does all right with this. I really do. After man, well, the kid's only 24. So what's this? It says, the major event which a former president hosts guests with open anti-Semitic beliefs was considered unprecedented in the modern era. Blah blah blah. Blah. See, yeah, and Trump, as long as Trump's name is just being said, still there's millions to be made, right? As long as Trump can just keep his ass in the news, that his name is good is because I'm pretty sure Donald Trump was the whole thing, the whole reason that CNN even stayed afloat. I think I remember reading it was CNN or Fox News before Trump became Trump in the political world. Like those new one of those news stations was going down, and Trump created so much of a hubbub. Everybody started tuning in, and his name essentially single handedly saved the whole fucking news station. Right, as long as Trump can stay relevant he gonna have some. He gonna have millions as long as he's at that point now. He don't even got to worry about making. Well, I mean, he can still fuck up, but yeah. Political views. When it stated his goal, the Republican Party, to truly reactionary. Sean opposes immigration, which he believes is a demographic threat to the United States. Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so it says Fuentes, I hope I pronounced Fuentes strongly opposes immigration, which he believes is a demographic threat to the United States. He's not the first one to be like that. There's been other. I'm pretty sure it was a Czech governor. He was like Japanese or something like that, and he didn't want foreign people coming in the Czech Republic. His whole fight for his run was to be against immigration. Which, and the reality of it is, I mean, he's right. I agree with him on that. I can see where he's coming from with opposing immigration because that's just basic logic. If you have a house that's made to sustain 8 people in it, you keep bringing in more people, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? It's just basic math, right? So I totally get that. At some point, I mean, you can try to work with it, but at some point, it's just going to be too many people, right? It's gonna be time to get creative. It's be time to either go steal something from some other country or try to make alliances to try to, make something new. And yeah, he opposes feminism and conservatism, claiming Christian Republic voters got screwed over because the GOP is run by Jews, atheists. So he said that he is not a white supremacist. The Fuentes kid has said he is not a white supremacist and calls the term an anti-white slur. Fuentes wants the United States to be a white Christian country and specify, yeah, this dude is cashing out on a certain demographic. He's cashing out. That's all that is. That's literally all it is, man. He's cashing out. I can sniff that from a mile, from 10 miles away. He's just cashing out. Just say something to get emotions in people. Like I said a long time ago, even with dealing with women, man. If she loves you or if she hates you, then you're in a good position. But if she's just indifferent to you, that's when you're in a bad spot. And even when it comes to like just being a human in life, right? Just being a human in life, it comes down to the same thing in the world, in society, in media, any movie, any music. Music is a great example. Either people can love you or people can hate you as a musician. But if you stay in that indifferent zone, that's how you fade off into nothingness. What happened to Lenny Kravitz? I don't know. He just faded off into nothingness. He didn't do anything anymore. We didn't hear anything that made us love him or hate him. So Lenny Kravitz just faded off into oblivion. Where'd he go? Who knows? Is he at Starbucks? I don't know. Does he have a Twitter? Who knows? That's what happened. That's just how the world is, man. You had, and even then you can still fall off. But overall, I'm starting this article in a second. Let me catch back up in these comments. What's up, Gregory Moore? What's up, man? His daughter is doing all right though. Treat women with indifference and they lose their minds. Oh yeah. AD, how much scholarship money did you get for college? Scholarship money? Oh man, I was real bad with that after my associates. After I left, okay, so after I left the community college, that was okay. So I got the Pell Grant because I was older when I went to college, so I was eligible for the Pell Grant after like 2 years of going to college as an independent student. So, I did the Pell Grant. I think they gave you was like $5,500 every like semester or something like that. But as far as like extra scholarships, well, I did know a woman who worked in financial aid. She would get me these electric company scholarships and then like another one. They were both like $300 and $400 a piece. Like she knew, like she said, look, just write something here, just write like a paragraph of why you want to go to school or something like that, and and you gonna get the money. They gonna give it to you, type of shit. So as far as scholarships, I was never really okay. And partially because of my path of going to school and the people I knew, and I was kind of lucky with that. No, I'm not because it's kind of I was lucky with it. So I only did scholarships for my first two associates when I was going to Sinclair, and then after that, I went to Wilberforce. But my uncle he was on the chair at Wilberforce. On top of that, that was after I had gone to the military. So Chapter 31 had been paying for all that, right? So I didn't have to worry anymore because I was because on top of me getting my military benefits, and then my uncle B, he was on the chair, the gay uncle I always talk about. He was on the chair of the college of the university. And I didn't know how many motherfuckers knew who I was before I knew them because of that. So that was a situation. But so pretty much after then, I was just always on chapter. I was just on my chapter 31 from the Marines, from the benefits. Not Marines, just say military. From the military, I was on chapter 31 benefits. So if anything, at that point, my scholarship was like buying books. So what I would do was on chapter 31, I would go and like because they pay for anything you have to do that has to do with school, right? And if you find a VA counselor who doesn't admit to it, just say you want to speak to her boss and talk to their boss about it. Because my VA counselor now tried to play me like that. Like she thought that I didn't know what I was entitled to, and I had to check her a good amount of times on that. But when you are on chapter 31, the military pays for anything. Like if you had to pay for parking, pay for books, pay for book bags, pencils, anything you had to use for school, they're supposed to pay you back. So what I would do is I would just go buy like the most expensive book bags I could find, the most expensive hoodies, the most expensive like everything, and it did just either just and then sell it, or if that bookstore allowed it, I would return it and just get the cash and just leave. So that was my scholarship because I just didn't give a fuck. Like, I mean, but no, to be fair, the book bags were faulty. They were faulty book bags. So that's why I returned them. But yeah, because I had a laptop. I gave that laptop to a friend of mine here. I still had my VA lap. That thing was a piece of shit. But yeah, no, as far as scholarships go, I wasn't too. Leah, I was not a big scholarship dude. Like some people, they'll get like $10,000 scholarships and all that. I never did any of that. Like I said, and partially because of my path in doing it. It's been a while since I heard "Do the Math." Lenny Kravitz acting. I saw him in a movie with Jennifer Lopez. Hey, 80, what happened to "Do the Math" merchandise idea? It should be in the link, and it should be in the link. Maybe it's not working anymore. Maybe they turn it off. In a link. But yo, let me get started on this article. So this article says, "What traits make a woman intimidating?" And again, sorry that I can't put it up because my Streamlabs is fucked up. So this is just a pure YouTube. This is literally just a pure YouTube live stream. So let's start this article. So it says, what traits make a woman intimidating? Okay, I'm gonna tell you all the okay. It's usually okay. My opinion as a man, and I'm gonna state my opinion first on what makes a woman intimidating. My opinion as a man, what makes a woman overall intimidating? Step one, she's too pretty, or step two, and I would say it's a far step two, but she has education, more education than the guy. Those are going to be the only two areas that makes a woman. And then I say, and also I say maybe a mixture of some women can be like severely focused on something, but even then, I don't really. I think that's intimidation, but not in the method that women want to assume it is. I think it's more intimidation in the sense of the guy never feels like he can be a real partner with her at that point. But overall, generally speaking, what makes a woman intimidating is that she's just too pretty. The guy feels like she's out of his league because she's just pretty, right? I say majority of that's what it's going to be, and I say a pretty distant second is is going to be her education level. So let's get started. And I'll admit where I was wrong, or where she might have this woman may have caught where I was wrong, where something I didn't catch or something like that. I'll be completely honest. So she says, step one, she's driven. Most women are called intimidating because of their career success and go getter attitudes. But this is exactly what makes an intimidating woman so powerful. According to Inc., being intimidating is a professional asset that can propel your career forward, not hold it back. While bulletproof motivation may make others insecure, it's exactly what's required to get ahead both in and outside of the workplace. Okay. Um, Again, okay, so this is an area where I think women misinterpret it, because women, and I was just talking to my girl about this, women do not know what makes them attractive. They don't know. They're just taking their cues from trying to assume from from seeing what other men have said on social media and what men are liking on Instagram, and they're just trying to synthetically create what they think men are thinking. The she's driven thing, what okay, the reality of the issues with a driven woman, and now some women can juggle this quite well. Some women can. Not many, but some women can. But generally what happens is when a woman's driven, w- this is the similar situation of what happens when women become bosses in workplaces, right? And they try to put on this act of being driven and focused. Again, some women can handle this well, most don't, because women genuinely lack camaraderie. They genuinely lack it because they're terrible people at the core, right? Like at the core of their existence, they're terrible human beings, right? They're just awful. When you really hear their reasonings for doing anything, it's really disgusting, right? What gets them over it again is they're wearing that costume of woman. But women severely lack the sense of camaraderie, meaning like of trying to of genuinely just sitting down and just existing with somebody and working, genuinely trying to work through a problem. Type of women do not have a proper beat on that, right? Because it's in woman's, it's in her DNA to be like that. She's not trying to be, she's trying to get taken care of, right? It's not in woman to be to women have to learn how to become a spouse, right? They really do. Men do too, but for different reasons. But women really have to learn, and it's harder for women because up front she's only being judged off of what she looks like first, and that's gonna make you want to go, I want to fuck that bitch. I want to get to know her, type of shit, right? So women have a harder time because women can always get their foot in the door with men, right? But it's again, like I say all the time, women have a hard time maintaining anything of value, right? So where this is misunderstood is since women lack that sense of camaraderie, the man will feel like he cannot just sit down and relax with her and just be with her, right? So that's the she's driven issue. That's I say that's majority of that issue of where that comes out at, right? But of course, that's just the general off the top of my head. But I'm gonna own it though. That's the confusion in that driven because again, women, there's some women who can juggle it. There are some who can. Some they can juggle it for the first 5 seconds and then it falls apart. Some juggle it for the first, couple days, couple weeks, and it falls apart because they don't know what to do next. Because they're secretly kind of waiting on you, the man, to just like take over and do something, but they don't want to say it because now they don't want to look weak because they try to put on this facade that they're strong and powerful too. And it's just like there's so many other scenarios. But in the end, that's really what happens is that the man ends up in this position where he doesn't feel like he can just relax with a spouse instead of a coworker type shit. And that's the whole issue with the whole modern feminism and women going to work anyway. Like for the most part, we can still kind of make it work until somebody has to start getting fucked. Until a penis has to go in and out of a vagina, that's when it all falls apart. So number two is she's successful. This doesn't necessarily mean she's running a Fortune 500 company. Success is measured differently for everyone. Whatever she puts her mind to, however, she crushes it. She knows the sky's the limit when it comes to achievements, and she holds herself to it. Successful women in business are intimidating as hell to a lot of people, but that's not her problem. So, real quick, I want to go over. I was talking to this one girl before I came to Prague, right? Before I came to Europe, she's an Asian girl, and she was a pharmacist, right? And she made good money. She made real good money. She had her own big nice house. She had a nice little Hyundai. You know what I mean? And she was paying 3,000 a month on her student loans, right? So that tells you she was making good money as a pharmacist. And she had enough money extra that's just outside of eating food and living and had her own house and a car. She was just throwing $3,000 a month at her student loans. She went to well, I'm not gonna say what college, what university she went to, but and this girl would do anything sexually, anything. We talked about the story she had, what she was doing with the other guy. Like she didn't have any problem with that. Her issue, because as I had left the US, so but we still stayed in touch. Her issue was she was trying to find other men, right? And this is after I had gotten married to the Czech girl. We was still talking about the time. And she was having problems finding men. And she said, men are intimidated by me. Or, she was asking me if men are intimidated by her because of her profession and her education. And I said, yes and no, because she was in a rough position because okay, she went to school for pharmacy and she was working, I think in a Kroger's or a Walgreens or something. I can't remember exactly which one now, but she had her own income. She was good, and she could not find a man, right? And I told her like point blank, like in this position, woman's nature is to always go up. If she has to sit there and mess with that equal or lesser guy, she's going to start getting frustrated and she's going to get mad. She's going to kick him out, whatever the fuck, right? And weirdly enough, she totally agreed with it. Like she understood it, right? And like I say before on my channel, like okay, what? Because I don't make enough to just throw $3,000 a month away on something like that, on top of like the house and all that like that. I don't earn that much. But what would always kind of put me up in that mental league is the fact that I was open to traveling. I was open to talk about any topic you can bring up. I was open to talk about hookers, making bitches puke on your dick, all this shit. I was traveling. I had in the US, just having a passport alone can fuck around and boost you up in perspectives from other people, right? So, and on top of that, my degrees are in various other fields, so I can talk about different things. So that's what would always propel me up, especially with women. That's what could propel me up in those worlds to where, like, yes, I remember I had one girlfriend. She had her doctorates and she was I think a third or fourth grade teacher, and I can't remember her name now. It was a black girl, and we talked about her story. She told me how she worked in a factory and she could barely even work in a factory. I think she got fired from there, but she finished her education and became a teacher. And but yeah, that's what kept me in those. Because now, as far as earning money, as far as money making, I actually did the math. There was about I think there was 1 year where I was actually making six figures. There was 1 year where it did equal out to that, and that was back in 2017. Because I just really thought, I randomly thought about it, because there was this guy on YouTube saying he's making $140,000 a year and is still living month to month. And then he broke down all of his expenses what he makes every month at a job, and after he takes out, putting money in his and I looked at, I was like, oh, I was making that every month when I was living in Chescalipa. I was making about that, right? And he was making about 140,000 a year, but that was only about a year I did that. But as far as just like intellect and relatively courage to just speak to anybody is what would boost me up in that. But the successful thing, back to the original topic, the successful thing from women is the fact that I told the girl that many men know that women don't want a guy that's beneath her, right? But then on the flip side is now that she's in this earning potential world, she's in that world where she only wants a guy who's going to make well over six figures. Now these guys have numerous options to pick above her, right? So in reality, like I say all the time, the more success a woman has, the worse she really ends up, right? She's going to success it hurts women in reality. It really does. Make sure this audio is working. Yeah. Success ends up hurting women far more than it helps in the long run, right? Because there's always going to be somebody who makes more money. It's always going to be a bitch that has better tits. It's always going to be a woman who wears her jeans better than you. There's always going to be a woman who puts on makeup better than you. It's always going to be a woman who's going to smile better than you, right? And no matter how pretty you are, there's always going to be a woman that has something that you don't have as a woman, right? And but in that process of growing, the woman thinks it's like chasing a fucking hamster wheel. It's like chasing a fucking carrot. Like the more work she puts in, she thinks she's finally getting ready to get that carrot. Like the horse and chasing the carrot. It's like the more work she puts in, she's thinking that she's going to finally get the carrot when she's never going to. In the rare chance that she actually gets the carrot, she's not going to be able to hold on to it. She'll get a bite of it and it's back out there again. Right? But on top of that, so let's say she's a horse chasing the carrot, right? She might fuck around and get lucky, and it'll swing up and smack her in her face, get caught in her mouth. It's like, yeah, I finally got the carrot. She'll take one bite, and it'll fuck around and swing out, but it'll swing out 10 more feet because she's aging at the same time, right? So it's going to swing out about 20 more feet, and the rest of her life is going to be spent going, trying to get the carrot because when she was 20, the carrot was about right here, right? When she was like 18, 19, 20, between 18 to 26, the carrot was like right here, right? And she might get a bite and hold on to that motherfucker for about 5 years. But when she fuck around and let that carrot go, that shit stretches out about 10 feet, and the rest of her life is going to be spent going, and she's never gonna get the carrot, right? And like that horse, she's gonna be stuck in having to settle for something because she ain't gonna never get that carrot again. It's done forever. What's up, Chill Pill? It's done forever. And so is damn near like well, I say it all the time. Woman's happiness is in misery, right? That's just her happiness is being miserable, right? Like, because she's never, for the rare occurrence that she's going to fuck around and win, give it 10 years and her body's going to start sagging, lips will start sagging, and it's done. She'll never be able to. So it really is a shitty, and I've always said this: women have a shitty life cycle. They really do, for what they think they want and what they really want and all that. Like, it doesn't matter, dude. They just have shitty life cycles. But yeah, step 3, she's good at weeding out people who aren't on her level. Yeah, yeah. If you're beneath her, then you're lesser. You don't exist. Yeah. Every woman's good at that. She's good at weeding out people who aren't on her level. Yeah. An intimidating woman doesn't mess around with guys and people in general who aren't worth her time. Yeah. Well, this is just common knowledge. She knows that those who are scared of her career goals or turned off by her strong personality aren't right for her. Usually, men who are intimidated by women are only struggling with their own insecurity rather than there being anything wrong with the woman who intimidated them. And for those women, so if I get, well, let me finish this. And for those women, they know the right people will support their intimidating traits, not try to knock them down. Okay, so the reality behind, who wrote this? Bree Schmidt. The reality behind the whole writing of this article is they get, and this is going to be some real shit. The reality behind this article is this woman got rejected by a guy who was better than her, and she has no explanation as to why, except anything that'll save her ego on the back end. Because if the guy was lesser than her, she would have never wrote this article. She got her feelings hurt by a guy who was better than her. But yeah, step 3, she's good at weeding out people who aren't on her level. That's just that's that hypergamous level shit. That's what it is. By the way, the Rollo Tomasi dude did not come up with that word. That was a historical word for people who would marry higher classes than them. That was the hypergamous route. Rollo Tomasi did not make. I've been meaning to say that for a long time. Rollo Tomasi did not make that word up, and I think some people tried to say he made that up. He didn't. That is an old word. So step 4. Well, maybe he said it, maybe he didn't, but yeah, I just remember some. I mean, I think I'm pretty sure somebody said he coined the word or something like that. But no, that's an old word. Step 4: she's a self pleaser, not a people pleaser. Well, a woman who's considered to be intimidating typically does not care about being polite. She doesn't act in ways to just she doesn't act in ways just to win others' approval. Instead, she knows her own internal validation is always most important. She's not afraid to set boundaries and honors her own needs, even if it makes others uncomfortable. Well, yeah, that is yeah. This step 3 goes in with step 4. This is the same thing. Okay. And this is a woman thing. Women are only going to be polite to men who she thinks are worth their time. Right? That's the only time you might get some decency out of a woman is if she thinks that she's going to get a payoff for it later. Prostitution. Right? Step 5. She's outspoken and assertive. This is perhaps one of the most important traits of an intimidating woman. These types of women aren't typically the quiet type, though they do choose their words carefully. They're opinionated, honest, and ready to stand up for what they believe in. An intimidating woman doesn't mince her words, and she's a pro at clear communication. Yeah, that's in the middle ground. Step 6. She has high standards. An intimidating woman knows what she wants, and she won't settle for less. So this is essentially step 3 and 4 in one. Okay. When others don't live up to the standards, they're attacked. Yeah, this is the same shit as step 3. Okay. She plays by her own rules. Being an intimidating woman means living a life on your own terms, even if it calls for, yeah, living a life on your own terms, even if it calls for going against the norm set by others. Intimidating women follow their own path, standing out from the crowd, and often becoming even more successful as a life result, in a life as a result. So, yeah, women. Where do I even start with this one? With the whole live life on your own terms bullshit. Everything a woman does is to live on the terms of man who she thinks is valuable, right? The only reason that this woman is proud enough to write this article is because secretly she thinks that there is a man who has these traits and is going to see her and be like, I want you. That's the only reason she's talking. Again, women do not have genuine independent thought. Okay, if women want to go their own way and all that shit like that, okay, and how much you want to bet this woman is not walking around with horrible makeup, with intentionally putting on horrible makeup and all that shit like that. If she has options, she's gonna do everything that she can to fit in with the man that she thinks she wants. She does not have. She does not live her own life on her own. No, she'll live her own life on her own terms when it comes to a man who she thinks people who she thinks are lesser than her. Yeah, she'll do it to them. But as soon as that man comes in the room, oh no, she gonna turn feminine real quick. Okay, I told you a while back. I was dating that one girl. Okay, the same girl who I just told you, who was translating when I was the foreign police and I got arrested, and she was with me when I got arrested. That same girl, she was a feminist. I told y'all a story a while back. She had a fat ass too. Her face was not the greatest, but her ass was like unbelievable, right? As especially as a white Czech girl, like with no not mixed with anything, like that's just her ass was like unbelievable. But and she was a feminist. And within the month, well, now it didn't even take a month. She was cooking me breakfast. She wanted to start buying dresses. She was wearing pants. She wanted to start buying dresses. And I remember I peed on her in the shower. That's what I wanted to pee on her. Because that was a story I told you guys a long time ago. I told you about this story because I peed on her in the shower. Because I remember she bent over and I peed on her ass, and that's what I wanted to pee on her. She's like, "What we got to do in the shower?" So I peed on her in the shower. But then we would have deeper talks about like these topics. So I said, "Okay, the friend of mine who you met here," and she goes, "Yeah." I said, "Would you let him pee on you?" And she goes, "Ooh, no." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because he might like it." But you know what? That friend of mine is nice. He's a nice guy, right? And there's nothing wrong with that from my perspective. But bitches don't like nice. They don't like overly nice, and he's a bit like overly nice. It's not awkward in my opinion, but it's bitches when they, like I said, see with the equality in the workforce and being nice and polite. See, everybody likes that shit until dick has start going in and out of a vagina, right? And see, that's when all this niceness and equality and all this shit, that's when that shit don't work out. And so let's use this as an example, right? Why equality does not work out in the workforce. So let's say in the workforce, right? Let's say you at work and shit, whatever the fuck you do, whether you counting papers or or you painting a wall, and you say it's a bitch that worked there with you, right? And you want and everybody always wants to fuck. As long as she's not too fat, at some point you gonna want to fuck the bitch, right? It's just what it is, and she wants to get fucked by some dick in there at some point because she's gonna have an urge at work. It's just how it is. It's the reality, right? So let's say you're at work in an equal environment, right? Right? And that woman comes up to you and says, "Hey, like, I really like this. I really just want to be equal with you, and I want to hang out with you. And she's kind of cute. And she comes up to you, the man, and goes, "Yeah, I want to be. I really like being equal with you. I like how I feel when I'm around you. I feel like I'm comfortable around you. Can we go get a sandwich somewhere sometime, right? You immediately thinking, yeah, I can fuck this bitch, right? Right? But see, now the other way, right? Let's say, and how it's usually gonna happen is the guy's gonna go up and approach her and be like, "Hey, like I like you, like you, the man, go approach the woman and say, "Hey, I feel comfortable. I just like how I feel comfortable around you. Can we go out for a sandwich sometime, right? Like that, right? Right?" And the guy's thinking, "Yeah, there's a chance I could fuck her." But at that point, you've already lost her, and she already knows. Unless she gets drunk or something like that, she don't see you like that, right? She sees you as a distraction until she get fucked by a dude who doesn't give a fuck, right? You are now the distraction who pays for her food. And this is why equality does not work out in the workforce. It works out until somebody wants to equality can work out until somebody wants to have sex. And that's when, and the reason why it doesn't work out is because women do not want to be fucked by equal, right? That's why it doesn't. Now, men don't care. We can fuck Kim Kardashian or Kim on Fifth and Broadway who's sucking dick for $10. We don't give a fuck. We can fuck anything. We don't care, right? But woman does not want to fuck equal. If she has a choice, she wants to fuck whatever's above her and it may not just be money. It could be just, confidence or whatever the fuck. She wants to fuck somebody who's above her, right? She don't want a motherfucker on the same, at eye level. No, it doesn't work that way. But that's why equality doesn't work. Right. So since equality at work does not work for the most part. I mean, you will have anomalies here or there. Now, like I said, it worked for me, but that's because I'm not like the complete normal average motherfucker. So like that'll kind of trickle through and that'll boost me up, amongst white bitches in the workforce type of shit. Like that will boost me up with them. But for the most part, it doesn't work. So what happens? What's the reality? What happens after that? You get articles like this where women now try to use lingo and use perspectives of men who are in supervision, management, higher positions than where she's at because she's trying to appeal to them. She'll fuck those coworkers, but the ones equal on her level, though at best, those are just distractions for her, right? See, this is how these what's her name? Step 9. This is how these Bree Schmitz become, right? But Bree Schmitz are every woman. She's nothing. This is so far. I'm on step 9. There's no difference between her and any other woman. This is all, but every woman wants to feel like she's something special. But there's no difference. She wants to fuck better. She doesn't want to fuck guys who she doesn't think can protect her. But she wants to be protected by a man who she knows can go out and get other pussy, right? That's what it's the same shit, right? But again, the reason why women end up like this is because she doesn't want to fuck that equal. Women do not want there is nothing about a woman's nature that wants true equality. Absolutely nothing. That is the biggest sham, the biggest lie, the biggest scam that's been pulled over on men as a whole, especially in Western cultures. If at every single study you look at what women prefer out of the man, there is not one area where she genuinely wants equality. She wants to be completely on the same level with the same man who she has to fuck. Not a one. Not one. WHONE. Not one. No, HWONE. One. A Steve Harvey one. One. Not a one. Right? It's the biggest sham. It's the biggest lie. So again, what happens with that, right? What happens to women who do not want to fuck, who are not completely happy and content with fucking that equal dude? She's gonna start becoming like this. She's gonna come up for reasons. She's gonna learn better lingo to get the bosses, to get people who are above her. She's taking a duck face selfie. But the difference is she's wearing the costume of woman. Like I said earlier, men will fuck Kim Kardashian and Kim on I don't know if there's even a third in Broadway. I'm sure he has a third in Broadway. Broadway goes all the way up. Men don't care if they fuck Kim Kardashian or Kim Cattrall. We don't care. As long as she's a little cute, she has a little butt on her. You know what I mean? She's taking a bath. Give it time. Give it time, and a dick will get hard, and we'd be like, I could fuck Kim Cattrall right now. I could do a Kim Cattrall right now. Just like a different flavor of ice cream. Look at Kim Cattrall. Right? Like, I mean, men can do that, whereas women, is at best, Kim Cattrall is going to be, a distraction, right? Because she's really going after, she's really trying to get something. It's the prostituting nature of woman. Like I say all the time, she can't help it. Don't be mad at her. It's just what she is. It's what woman is, right? And all this article it's her way of taking a duck face selfie, right? And here's the thing, like I say all the time before, she will fuck around and at least get her foot in the door because she has that costume of woman on. That's literally 90% of why she's making it anywhere in the dating market at all, is because she has the costume of woman, right? That's it. I'd say at least 90%. Nope, she's not smart. Nobody cares about her intelligence. No. How does her butt look in them jeans? How does her butt look in that dress? Is her hair long? Did she take a bath? And that's all you looking at as a man. Now, her face can be prettier or not prettier, whatever the fuck, but you can get over that. Some guys can. I can't. I can get over if her face isn't that pretty or not, if the rest of her body's all right. But yeah. But that's how these articles get written. So step 10, she's resilient. Let's be honest. A lot of intimidating women weren't born that way. Well, yeah, because you had to learn how to because these women like you, like yourself, you had to learn this lingo to try to appeal to better because okay, let me further dive into this, right? She states a lot of intimidating women weren't born that way. Now, I didn't even read the rest of it, but I'm going to tell you exactly how they turn into Ediths. Is that her name? Terrible. Bree. Wow, why I keep saying Edith? Bree. So this is exactly. I'm trying to find, where was I at? Okay, yeah, because I want to read through the rest. Because I haven't read the rest. I just read the first sentence. I'm going to tell you the reality of how women become intimidating. Right, when a woman goes off in the world, right, and at some point, some guy's going to holler at her, whatever the fuck, right. What's going to eventually happen is that she's going to talk to so many guys that and sometimes the women don't even know what's wrong, but she knows that something's wrong. That all these guys at her job are talking to her and they want to holler at her and they're trying to fuck her. Like she knows that something's wrong. And this happens especially to the younger girls. A lot of cases like this, they know something's wrong, but they don't exactly know what. Because on one hand, she knows that the guy is working a job, therefore he can at least buy her something so she can use him for that. She knows that what a guy maybe isn't too bad looking, but she doesn't know why she's not feeling completed in any way. And she's really confused, right? Nowadays, women are going to therapists like myself or other people who are better and worse than me as therapists. But in the past, most women they would go back to their female circles of friends and they'll get to talking. And some female in that circle of friends will either educate her or those females were educated by older women who educated them as to why they weren't happy. And see, this hypergamy shit, sometimes women even have to learn how to re-engineer their own hypergamy. Right? They have to re-engineer it and shit because they don't even, so they have to learn, oh, that's why I don't want to fuck Randall at work because he's on my level. That's why. I'm trying to get somebody on a better level. And that's when they get excited. Get somebody on a better level. Yeah, that's how they get excited. That's how women become intimidating. That's how they start writing articles like this because they finally figured it out. Oh, my prostituting nature wants to go into men who are higher than me. That maybe then I'll respect those guys now. Yeah, that's what's wrong, and that's when it starts. That's when they've re-engineered their prostituting hypergamous mentality. That's how they end up like, I keep calling her Edith. I can't remember her fucking name, but that's how they end up like this. So I'll read through her bullshit response, but that's how it happens. So let's continue. They developed their toughness through hard times and personal struggles. Yes, the hard time and personal struggles was dealing with men of equal or lesser value than her. That was her hard times and struggles, right? They have some painful experiences under their belts that make them seem so intimidating today. Yeah, the painful experiences, meaning she devoted so much time into a man who she realized was lesser or equal to her. That's what it is. Yes. But that's just a sign of how resilient they are. An intimidating woman is known for her ability to persevere even in the face of difficult challenges, aka finding a man who's on a higher level. That's the difficult challenge. And keeping him, that's the challenge. She doesn't complain about minor inconveniences, knowing that she's strong enough to handle them. Yeah, getting hit on by colleagues at work and men who are lesser, delivery men, men who she deems as lesser humans, delivery men, factory workers, mailroom employees. See, these are men who she thinks these are her hard times of thinking that she might have to settle for a mailroom work. I worked in a mailroom before. These are her hard times. I worked in the mailroom. I worked at Ohio National Financial Services. So I worked in the mailroom. And the people who are most intimidated by her may feel that way only because they believe that they could never be as resilient as she is. Of all traits of an intimidating woman, this is one of the most important. So step 11, she's smart. An intimidating woman is whip smart in more ways than one. People around her notice her intelligence when it comes to topics she's deeply passionate about, but she's also known for her street smarts too. Yeah, street smarts. Okay, woman street smarts. Get the fuck out of here. Woman street smarts revolve around who can she trick into fucking her for it. Maybe like real street smarts is how to trick motherfuckers in the thinking they could fuck her so she can set up three guys to rob them. Street smarts is how to get guys who she knows that wants to fuck her so she can get resources out of them. That's what it's going to boil. That is woman street. There is no other street smarts for majority of the women, right? There is no other. And in the rare occurrences that they will try to adopt genuine street smarts, they'll just hope that men will feel sorry for her and give her something whenever she loses. That is her street smarts, dude. There is no street. Because most intimidating women aren't afraid to bust out of their own comfort zones. Yes, they are. They've learned plenty of life lessons from firsthand experiences that make a few mistakes along the way and make a few mistakes along the way. As a result, they're quick to learn new skills and make smart decisions no matter what. Like, and I'm gonna go through what you guys can't see because my Streamlabs is fucked up. It wouldn't log in for some reason. I restarted the laptop, so you guys can't see the article. But I'm gonna go back and look at all the articles she's written. I would guarantee you she can't keep a man herself, but she's so smart. She's the friend, sister, girlfriend we all needed. Intimidating women may not be known for their warm people skills, but even if their strength may put off some, it's something we could all benefit from being exposed to. There's a lot to learn from having an intimidating woman as a friend, sister, or partner. She can inspire us to be more authentic, confident, and bold, even if it comes against others' wishes. And she'll always be honest with us, speaking up about what she, yeah, see, okay, oh, no, yeah, no. I'll finish it just to get this bullshit over. And she'll always be honest with us, speaking up about what she needs and setting necessary boundaries. If you're already an intimidating woman, embrace it. You have a lot to offer the world just by being your real intimidating self. Okay, especially step 12 was nothing but her painting this imaginary picture in her head of what she would like to be in real life. Right? None of that shit was real. Right? All that entire sentence, that entire paragraph was literally her imagining this mythical version of herself and what that would be like in the world and people just loving her being that way. Right? I would guarantee you this is all bullshit. Right? I guarantee it. See, yeah. So if she's so okay, because I'm gonna click on her name. Click on. It's Tinder for dating or hooking up. How to show your ex you've changed. Yeah. The Bold. It's on bold.com. Bold.com is literally where reject women go to try to save their ego. Try to save their ego. This is what bold.com literally is made for. It's for reject women to go and try to resuscitate their ego before they go back out there and get pumped and dumped again. Back on, this is just their blog. This is literally bold.com is the reject woman's Instagram blog or YouTube blog or whatever the fuck. It is the reject woman's blog. How to keep yourself from messaging someone you know you shouldn't, which is a man who pumped and dumped her. Does my crush like me? Ask yourself these questions. What to do when he comes back after pulling away, meaning that he pumped and dumped her and came back because he just ain't had nothing else better to do. Yeah. How to get to know a guy better before you decide to have a relationship. Okay, so he okay, so we're gonna read just another failure. So so it sounds like because here's the thing with bold.com, you can literally click on the person's fucking the writer, right? and then go through their whole like all their articles, and you can pinpoint the areas where she thought she may have fucked around and didn't get pumped and dumped, and then she got pumped and dumped just based off the titles. So, so because yeah, because I'm clocking this shit. I bet I would guarantee this is what happened because women are just because they so smart. So okay, so here's an area. So pretty much from I would say okay, yeah. So from January 6th, this is after she got dumped. She got with another man and then got dumped again. So I'm going to read off the title. Since I can't put it up on the screen, I'm going to read off the title, starting from January 6th. How to heal from a codependent relationship when it ends, right? The reason I will say why I'm sure that she was the one who got dumped is because it ended. It ended. See, she's never going to say she got dumped. She's going to say it ended, right? Because he's that pathetic woman ego needing for social status, and that it ended. She got dumped, right? She got dumped because if she had dumped him, she would have said how to deal with a man, how to deal with your life after you left the man. She would have specifically inferred that. See, this is how women talk. She got dumped, so she was very okay. So she got dumped by a guy who she got addicted to roughly around January 6th. I would say give it about a week earlier, to cool off. But she got dumped. She got dumped around New Year's. It's probably his New Year's revolution. So she fucked around and hopped in another relationship around January 14th. 10 ways how to practice mindfulness in romantic relationships. She started falling in love with the dude and said how to stop overthinking your relationship and start living in the moment. So she started falling in love with him around January 18th. January 23rd, 10 scientific benefits of cuddling you may not have known about. So roughly between January 18th and January 23rd, she learned to just shut the fuck up and just sit there and just exist. Now she's cuddling. Right. So the end of January, is your relationship doomed? Sunday, February 6th. Signs you have abandonment issues and how to cope. Yep. So at this point, the guy just probably didn't talk. So at this point, so right around January 3rd, the guy ghosted her. I'm gonna tell you, I say this with about 75% efficiency rate, just based off of titles alone. Right around the end of January, the guy just stopped talking to her as much. Right? Just didn't talk to her. Wasn't texting her back, wasn't calling her. Probably went a week without talking. Probably went a few days without talking after he was talking to her, like, these good morning, good night, some shit like that, some old silly shit like that, and bounced on her, right? So February 6th, signs you have abandonment issues and how to cope. Because now she's hurt. She'd have been abandoned because the guy ghosted her. February 11th, time apart in a relationship. Why to take it and how to do it right. Listening to you. So pretty much, so this guy, so time apart. Okay, what time apart translates to what happened on. So within a month, she got into her relationship. Within a month, she had been dumped by a guy on New Year's. Hopped on the first next guy that came around. That guy left her. So by February 11th, the guy just didn't say anything, or maybe said something like, "Take time apart. I need space." So now she writes, "Well, how to take time apart and how to take time apart, do it right?" So then February 3rd, she hopped on some new guy, and it was how to get to know a guy better before you decide to have a relationship with him. This is after she got dumped by guy number 2. Then she start falling in love with him. When is the right time to say I love you? That lasted for about a month. Then 10 things. Well, no, probably not, because now it's 10 things to talk about with your crush to build a connection. So if I had to guess, this guy, it's probably the same dude, but it was off and on talk. Off and on. He was probably pumping and dumping her, taking her out once or twice. So he became the crush. Finally left. the next day what to do when he comes back after pulling away. You can just cry. You can look at you can just like look, when just click on bold and just look at the woman's whole just blog, and you can just you see like when this must have happened. Yep, that's when she got dumped. That's when the guy left. That's when she don't know why the guy left. That's when she hurried up and ran to another dude. And it's simple. It's easy, dude. Like it's just ridiculous. I charge these batteries. What I do with my other one? Oh well. Yeah, because I'm gonna get off here in a minute. So I'm gonna catch up on these comments. Let me get out of here. Biology wins. It is right. Women have no clue what men really find attractive in them. No, yeah, August line. No, they don't. They have absolutely no clue. And the thing is, it's like the less they know, and they just, it's like the less they know and genuinely like didn't care, like the more attractive they become because of it. And that's just like that with anything. Like the less you care, the more control you really end up with in the relationship, like, type of thing, right? Like it's really a sad situation for for that, because on the other end, women will always have this argument of men, or they always try to blame women, are always trying to blame men for women's appearance, and and in no way, shape, or form are men directly telling women, on a massive scale, what to do about their appearance to step it up. Women are feeling that because they're reading magazines and going on blogs like Breeze and see these stock images of beauty. So why is Brie up here putting these beautiful people in her pictures? Did a man, okay, for a website that's literally tailored for women, why are women picking pictures of beautiful women? You see what I'm saying? Like, why are women, like, this whole argument that men are the ones behind all this shit? No, women are the ones, do, because women have to compete. Leave again, for every issue that is brought up that women are trying to blame men for doing, for making and all that shit, women are always by far the worst offenders of it, by whether it's being shallow over looks, shallow over money, whether it's being shallow, whatever the fuck. Women are always the worst perpetrators of everything they try to state men are doing, right? Because like I said before, like I said a long time ago, in the scenario of let's say like equality in the workforce, well, that's always a common situation, a common fight, because okay, as far as equality in the workforce, why are no women applying to be plumbers? Why are no women applying to be electrical engineers? Why are no women applying to be construction workers? Because it's tough work. Women don't want difficulty, they want easy shit, right? So So I forgot where I completely lost my train of thought where I was going with that, because I started thinking about Jordan. The one thing I heard about Jordan Peterson say about that situation, which I totally agree with, and nobody can say he's wrong about it. Nobody. But where I was going, the original topic was women. They will always be the worst offenders or whatever they're blaming. Oh, I know. I remember where I was going. So with the feminists who are claiming like oh, they're not allowed to work, blah blah blah. Ask any feminist As any feminist, has she even thought to seek out a female auto mechanic? Has she even tried to? Would she feel comfortable with a woman as an auto mechanic fixing her car? Would she feel comfortable with a woman dishwasher installer? Would she feel comfortable with that? Ask the biggest feminist that you know. Would a woman genuinely feel comfortable driving her car to the mechanic, and when she gets there, it's all women working in there? Would she feel comfortable with that? Of course not. Because women know women don't fix shit. Women know that women are waiting for men to fix the world, right? Women know it, right? And even when it comes to, well, you guys can't see the website because Streamlabs is fucking stupid. But even with this website, why okay, for a website that's literally bold, is literally tailored for women, why are they using all pictures of beautiful women? Did evil men come in and say, "Hey, bold, you should put up pictures of pretty bitches because we like to look at pretty bitches"? No, the women are doing it. The women are doing it, right? How come they're not putting realistic women in bold? Why are they doing it? They're doing it themselves, right? Yeah. What's up, Papa? Well, what's up, Papa Midnight? How you doing, man? Hope that business venture worked out for you. If a woman needs if a woman needs a refrigerator delivered or an air conditioner installed, they don't call five strong independent feminists to do the job. Oh yeah, no, Gus is lying. August lying. I don't want to say Gus is. Yeah, oh no, no, that's the last people they trying to they gonna think that they rather call some high school guys, so some guys on the JV basketball team to do it instead of even women would do. Like if you I want to see a questionnaire of asking feminists which one would you rather move an air conditioner, strong and independent women, or three junior varsity basketball team men's basketball team players. Which one would you rather come in here and move this heavy shit? All of them gonna be, you already know who they gonna go with. They gonna go with the men. We want equality. We want equality when it's comfortable. That's the only time. Working on website, getting content. Nice, man. Nice. Just got incorporated. Oh, where you guys go? Oh, I see. Okay, okay. Nice, nice. What's up, Ray Allen? I'm getting off here, man. But yo, thanks for tuning in. I'm like literally getting ready to get off. This is going on 9:30. I can't keep track of time. Since daylight savings time happened, like 7 o'clock feels like it's 4 p.m. now. Like I just can't keep track of time. And probably because I'm getting up early because the baby's like waking up at like, 6. He's up at, well, I wake up from him screaming in another room at like 6 or 7 in the morning now. So like 7 p.m. now feels like it's like 4 p.m. Like I just can't keep track of time. Women fantasize about being beautiful because beauty is the only form of power they really have. Yo, yeah, Bawad, I want to add one more thing to that, which I totally agree. I'm gonna add another thing. It even goes down into okay, this whole push. Has anybody ever noticed that this entire push of what makes a man attractive, these are all the things that men naturally wanted as being, younger kids. Like okay, think back to, because I'm 37. I'll be 37 this year. Think back to when, if you're in my age group, think back to when we were like 8 or 9 or 10 or 11, right? Who was the guys that we always looked up to? We always looked up to Arnold. The whole reason why Arnold Schwarzenegger is even a thing right now, because he was a big, muscular dude who was beating motherfuckers up in Terminator, right? He was a dominant motherfucker, right? Bitches back then, you couldn't even, no women was talking about fucking a dude like that. All right. It was the guys walking around wanting to be like him. Right. So when you look at any old, when look at any G.I. Joe shit, whatever the fuck from back then, right? Look, even motherfuckers like Michael Knight, like he just did his own thing. And Michael Knight was essentially like the Green Ranger. That motherfucker was for hire and just fucked up some shit when he was told to and left. Right. Motherfuckers wanted to be Michael Knight from Knight Rider. Right. He had a gangster ass car. He looked like he had some money on him and he went up and beat motherfuckers up. Right. He was cool. But back then, women wanted, there was, see, all this six figures income and all. See, dingbat bitches are only falling that because men started that value system of doing that on a whole in all of, I'll say in the US, right? Now it was known the guy would get, okay, because the reality of it is it was known that, that these guys would get the girl back then because they was like big and buff and all that shit like that. But it was not like this universal push to where you got fucking 15-year-old girls to 80-year-old grandmas saying the same shit now, right? Motherfuckers it was nowhere near like that, right? But back then, All the boys wanted to be the Terminator. All the boys wanted to be fucking, whoever who was running around owning shit and beating motherfuckers up. The boys wanted and they're protecting the world and all that shit. All the boys wanted to be that, right? In some form, whether your generation was Voltron, Power Rangers, whatever the fuck. The part that drew men in was that we wanted to be that strong individual who could figure out a problem. It's why James Bond is James Bond. It's why now it's why John Wick is John Wick. But like with John Wick, now women are tagging on because women have figured out, oh, men like this, so we must like it too now, right? Throughout history, there is nothing that women even like that has absolutely nothing to do with men outside. Well, you could say drama, but drama is going to come back to men, right? Is who the other girl liked, right? But yeah, like, and because I have these thought experiments. I really think about this too. If there was a way I could just go to an alternate reality to prove my point, right? Women literally have no identity without men, like literally zero identity without men. Women have no identity without men. And to prove my point, well, I can't prove it, but in this theory, the only reason why women generally advocate or have a lot or have above average admiration for the whole LGBT thing is because women know that most men are going to have some awkward feeling and be kind of against it, right? That's the only reason why women love it. Because I would guarantee you, if all men went off and started fucking other men and fucking trannies and all that shit and left straight heterosexual women alone, women would hate LGBT. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. I would guarantee it. I wish I could just do an alternate reality where I can prove it. If men just decide to like anything that wasn't women, she's gonna hate like and it comes out in other ways, whether it's your job, whether you like PlayStation, whether you like going just hang out in the bar with your friends, whether you like to go play piano all day long at the piano club. Whatever you like to do that does not revolve around her, she really hates it. Right? Because her identity is based off of you wanting to her identity is based off of the man that she can attract. That is her literally her identity, right? And then after that, it's the social status amongst the women she's with and all that. But the man is always going to set her status of what women she's going to hang out with. So, for perfect example. Let's say, well, a theory. The reason I say this, if a woman had been dating a dude who was like a forklift driver, right? And not even like like a six-figure one, like you find in like Texas, some shit like that. But I'm talking like one that's like in Ohio that's making like $12 an hour or some shit like that, right? She was dating him and she had a certain group of friends, right? If that woman fucked around and started dating like Tyrese, she got to change her whole friends group now. She can keep hanging out because that man is now her identity. You see what I'm saying? Because the man being the identity is, I want to say there was a law passed, there was something passed not too long ago, but this always was an issue. In the military, if the man was a high ranking person, women would think that they like the women who would be with the men in these high ranking positions, they would think that they had all the authority and rights of the man, right? This is a woman's name because her identity is based off that man, whatever that man is and what he's doing. That's what she thinks that she automatically becomes that because she sucked his dick, right? It's a weird dynamic in a woman's head. Um, um, but that woman is now that man. And here's the thing. This happens in every walk of life, not just like the very successful walk of life, even like the middle class success, whatever. It happens with any woman is truly with you and dating you, right? The only reason women will truly really get with you and be happy is because she recognizes that you're better than her, and she secretly believes to herself that she'll just inherit everything that makes you better than her without her doing much work on her end, right? But then what happens is, and the reason why most of the time most men are really tired, get tired of the woman pretty quick, is because I don't even think the woman's fully aware of it too much. It's just her nature to do it. And then on top of that, like the man, it just gets annoying because the woman just starts to linger, right? Because she and without actually like applying any thought, any real strategy to better herself at all. Because the only reason she's going to fuck with you is because you're better than her. That's the only reason why she's going to fuck with you, right? But she's not actually growing in any way. This is just a common issue worldwide with women you're going to have because it's just woman's nature from the start of being fucked up. She's only going to fuck with she's only going to be content with fucking with something that's better than her. But the reality of it is it's better than her. Right now, some scenarios like the guy, he never really grows out of that, puppy love phase about her because he likes her smile or some shit like that. Those happen too. But for the guys who are above it, that's the situation that they find themselves in, right? But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna get out of here because it's getting late. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Yo, thanks everybody who tuned in. And like, I can't even do the intro because I'm not on Streamlabs right now. So I just got to end it right here. So I catch y'all later, man. Peace out.